In a village where tradition ruled like law and perfection was worshipped like a god, a pair of twins were born under the weak light of a stormy dawn. The boy came first, beautiful, glowing, healthy. The room erupted in celebration. He was named Kehinde and wrapped in silk. But then came the girl. When the midwife unwrapped the newborn baby girl, the room fell into silence. Her deep brown skin was covered in scaly red and white patches. Her little hands were cracked. Her face bore peeling marks. A large, dark, flame-shaped birthmark rested near her left eye. The villagers leaned back. Some gasped. Some turned away. "She's cursed," someone whispered. Grandmother Ebony, a stern, elderly woman with deep lines etched into her dark face, stood far back from the delivery hut, arms crossed in a tight knot. She didn't take a single step forward. "She's come with shame," the grandmother muttered, "with her mother's bad luck." The mother, Saad, barely conscious from labor, looked at her daughter with fear and heartbreak. Her husband was gone. The village feared imperfection. And now this child, her daughter, bore something no one would accept. By nightfall, the decision was made. Kehinde would stay. The girl must go. Before dawn, Saad, her arms still weak, wrapped her daughter in an old wrapper and walked through the fog. She reached the riverbank, where the waters moved slowly under the first light of morning. The air was cold. Her feet trembled. Behind her, far in the distance, Grandmother Ebony stood like a shadow, watching. Silent, unmoved, Saad bent low at the edge of the water, cradling the baby in her arms one last time. The baby made no loud cry, only a soft, almost knowing whimper. "I'm sorry," Saad whispered, tears running down her face. "They won't let me keep you. They said you're cursed. But I know you're more than this skin." She bent even lower, her back curved, knees on the wet soil, and gently placed the baby on the surface of the river. The thin wrapper held her afloat for a moment as the water slowly carried her away. And then, she was gone. But fate has a strange way of choosing its heroes. Miles downstream, just as the sun pierced through the morning mist, a large fishing net dragged in a catch, and something more. Mama Ngozi, a widowed fisherwoman with eyes full of wisdom and arms strong from years on the river, gasped when she saw the baby. The child was shaking, her skin cracked and bleeding, but she was alive. Instead of fear, Mama Ngozi saw meaning. "She is not cursed," she said, wrapping the baby in her shawl. "She is chosen." She named the baby Mariam. Bitterness turned sweet. The villagers mocked her. "Why raise a girl like that? You'll only bring sickness to your home," they said. But Mama Ngozi raised Mariam with love. As Mariam grew, the skin disease remained. It worsened in the dry seasons. Her arms would bleed, her face would flake. Other children called her Snake Girl or Patchface. Some mothers pulled their children away when she passed. Yet Mariam grew up gentle. She worked hard, cleaning, cooking, tending herbs Mama Ngozi gathered from the forest. And she smiled through it all. Whenever Mama Ngozi sat her down to rub healing oil into her skin, Mariam would ask, "Do you think my mother ever loved me?" Mama Ngozi always answered, "I know she did. That's why your heart is still soft." Years passed. In the nearby city, Sada's life had not turned out the way she expected. Her beloved son Kehinde, now 17, had fallen ill with a strange sickness. Fever came and would not leave. The doctors tried. The hospitals failed. Saad sold her jewelry, her wrappers, even her home, but nothing worked. One night, she sat outside the hospital weeping. A passing prophetess, a ragged woman no one knew, stopped beside her. "Your healing," she said in a whisper, "is in what you tried to forget. The one you left behind still carries your miracle." Saad didn't understand, not at first, but the words lingered. Eventually, she found her way back to that village. She hadn't been there in 17 years. Her hair was streaked with gray. Her heart was heavy. She asked around. Someone pointed her to a healer in the bush, a girl raised by Mama Ngozi, a girl whose skin was strange. When she arrived at the compound, she saw her. Mariam stood at the doorway of the hut, tall, beautiful in her own way, her skin still visibly marked with thick patches of red and white. Her arms bore the history of rejection, but her eyes, they were clear, calm, powerful. "Can I help you?" Mariam asked, voice soft. Saad stared at her, unable to speak. My son is sick," she managed. "No one can help." Mariam nodded. "Then let's try." For the next 3 days, Mariam treated Kehinde, who lay weak on a mat, too ill to move. She prepared herbs, whispered prayers, and rubbed ointments into his skin with her own cracked hands. She never spoke of the past. On the 3rd day, Kehinde opened his eyes. His fever broke. He was healing, and that night, Saad broke down. She knelt at Mariam's feet, tears soaking into the earth. "I left you. I listened to fear. I thought you weren't normal. But look at you. You saved us." Mariam knelt down beside her, took her hands. "I am not normal," she said softly. "I am extraordinary." They cried together in the moonlight. Word spread quickly. The healer girl with the marked skin who could cure what no doctor could. People came from far away. Those with leprosy, eczema, burns, wounds that wouldn't close. And Mariam healed them all. The skin that had once brought shame became the source of healing. Saad never left her side again. She worked beside her daughter, carrying bowls, cleaning wounds, learning herbs. Mama Ngozi, now aged and watching from her stool, smiled as her once-rejected child became the village's treasure. One evening, Mariam took her mother to the same riverbank. The sun was setting, painting the sky gold. She stood tall, her skin still marked, still cracked in places, but she glowed. Saad held her hand tightly. "You were never cursed," she whispered. "You were the cure I never saw coming." And as the birds flew across the orange sky, the water rippled softly, carrying not sorrow, but peace.